To get started here, it might be helpful for some of us to actually draw out the triangle so you can label things and know exactly what it is you're looking for. Some of us are more visual than others. All I need is a dummy triangle there, so every triangle can look the same when I fill it out. Because remember, it doesn't have to look like it says it is. We just follow what the numbers are. So here's my triangle. I'm going to call point A the point -7, 2. I'll call point B 3, 4. And I'll call point C 2, -5. What I need to do to classify by sides, this is asking me to classify each triangle by sides, is I need to find the side length. Because remember, we have 3 different types of triangles classified by sides. What do we call a triangle where all sides are congruent? Equilateral. What do we call a triangle where only 2 sides are congruent? Isosceles. And where no sides are congruent is scalene. Very good. So we are going to be choosing from equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. Good? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the lengths of these sides using the distance formula. Remember distance formula from our first chapter? It's written up here in the yellow, on that yellow sheet, the top formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and take the square root of that whole thing. So this is how I'm going to write this out. AB is the length between A and B. And so it's 3 minus -7 squared plus 4 minus 2. A lot of people are a little bit sloppy. It happens and we mix up the x's and the y's, but remember every point goes x comma y. And when you're doing your setup, you want to do your x minus x, y minus y. So when I have this next step, I would have plus positive 10 squared plus 2 squared. That gives me 104 when I do the math. I don't need to go any further than that. I can just leave this as the square root of 104, and I'm going to write that on the side, the square root of 104. Because if the distance between C and B is not the square root of 104, then I know they're not equal. And I don't need to know whether it's longer or shorter. I just need to know that they're not equal. So I'm going to do the same thing for CB. Here's my CB. And I didn't plan my room very well here, but 3 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus -5 squared. And again, go through and do the math. 3 minus 2 is 1 squared plus, that would be plus positive 9 squared. And when I do that math, I get the square root of 82. Everybody okay with my work? Okay, so I know this is the square root of 82. So this is definitely not going to be an equilateral. It could be isosceles. It could be scalene. I have to check the last side. AC. And I'll do the math on that one. So 2 minus -7 squared plus -5 minus 2 squared. That gives me 9 squared plus -7 squared. Be careful when you square a negative, because if you punch it in your calculator incorrectly, it will not square the negative part of it. please make sure, if you do not know what -7 times -7 is, that you put parentheses around the -7 before you square it, or you're going to end up with an icky looking answer. So this is the square root of 81 plus 49. 81 plus 49, so 130. Does anybody agree with that? Did I do bad? Jonathan, you okay? You're all right? Okay. You made it look like you had something to say. What's that? 49 plus 81? It is 130, yeah. Make sure that, again, you square the negative. That would be both positive inside of there. So this is the square root of 130. So we call this triangle scalene. You get the gist? Okay, yeah.
So how do we know which one is x1 and x2 if we're doing lines?
It doesn't really matter. No, the only thing that you have to remember as far as x1 and x2 goes is if I take this x first, so if I say -7 minus 2, I want to do this y first as well, 2 minus -5. And as far as that goes, the order does not matter. Just be consistent with yourself, okay? All right, so your job is going to be to finish the last 4. When you're done, put it in the basket. You are welcome to work with somebody.